What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Art of Crypto, the birthplace of absolutely legendary gains. In this video, we are going to just talk about Solana because, hey, this is a coin that everybody is interested in, including myself. I did buy Solana at 135 right at the bottom. This is something that I called on my YouTube channel as well as my private Discord group. So for those of you who are still in this trade, there is going to be some amazing news that is going to come your way. Now, Solana is going to continue its run, and in this video we are going to figure out exactly where Solana is going to go next. But right before I dive right into it, if you haven't already followed me on Twitter at _theartofcrypto, you're going to want to do so, because over here, this is where I'm sharing the latest market updates as well as any coins that I might be looking at that I cannot share on YouTube due to time constraints, because it does take a little bit of time to make a video. So if you want to find out exactly what kind of a trade that I'm looking at on my Twitter, then make sure you follow me on Twitter. But otherwise, I want to draw your eyes to this trend line over here on Solana. And if I go onto the 4 hourly, this will look a lot more clear. So you can see that so far Solana is still respecting this trend line. And as you can see, we recently just broke out above it and then we came down to retest it. And then now we are going higher. And the way I know this is because we are currently just destroying this previous swing high right here, which indicates that there might be bullish order flow over here. And for those of you who are wondering what is order flow, it basically just tells you when the market is bullish or bearish. So perhaps over here, when you're getting lower lows and lower highs, you're getting bearish order flow. But in this case, we just got a high low and then we got a high high. Sorry, this isn't even a high high yet, but this is another high low and now we got the high high. So if you want to figure out exactly how to tell when the market is bullish, because it is so much more than just high lows and high highs and low lows and low highs. If you want to learn how to tell when, you know, it's a good time to jump into a trade and just hold it for like a week or 2 months because it's bullish on the order flow perspective, then make sure you check out a video that I'm going to link on the top right hand corner. This will tell you everything you need to know about how to tell, and as well as how to snipe bottoms, because if you watch my videos, you know exactly, like for example on Solana right here, I did snipe Solana right at 135. Like it wasn't even there for a very long amount of time, and this is exactly where I got it. So if you want to learn how to find the exact bottoms for many trades, then that's the video that you're going to want to check out as well. So for now, back to Solana. We just retested the trend line and now we broke out above it and now we are forming a higher high, which means that order flow is definitely bullish, at least on the 4 hourly side. Now, if we go back onto the daily and if we bring up a VPVR indicator, you can see that there isn't really much resistance that is holding back Solana as long as it manages to break above 243, which I do believe it will, because order flow is already bullish. So in this case, I do believe that Solana is absolutely bullish. And now we have to figure out like where Solana is going to target if it goes to new all-time highs. In my opinion, I have been talking about this on my Twitter as well as previous Solana videos for quite a long time, where I say that Solana is going to go to $270, right? At the very least, it will go to $270. So for those of you who are still in the trade that I called from 135, then this is going to be my first take profit. Like imagine getting a 2x on like a large cap. And that is like, we are very close to doing that on Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. Ethereum, I have a trade open from 2680 and Bitcoin, I have a trade open from 40K. So we are getting really close to that magical 2x number. For Solana, that is going to come at around $270. And this is going to be the first take profit target. Now, am I saying that this is the absolute top for Solana? That is not what I'm trying to say. But if we just draw a fib from that swing high to that swing low over here, you can see that $270 and $300 does fall in line with the 1.618 and 2 Fibonacci extension, which is usually indicates a local top for any coin before some sort of retracement, like some sort of short-term retracement. Like it's not going to go back to like 135, mind you, that's not what I'm saying, but do expect some kind of a rejection at 270 and at about $300. Just something to expect. Maybe the rejection might last for a month, a couple of months, or maybe even 3 to 4 months before the run continues, right? If you look at Cardano ADA, let me go back to ADA. And by the way, if you want to figure out like where ADA is going to go next, I have made a video about it yesterday, which I will link on the top right hand corner as well. Now, if Solana gets rejected off of the Fibonacci extension, just like ADA did, then something like this could potentially happen, right? You get consolidation for about 3 months before you move, before you make your next move. And in my opinion, Cardano ADA is about to make its next move. If you want to figure out exactly what levels that you want to pay attention to for Cardano, you are going to want to watch that video. But Solana, right? The targets is absolutely going to be 270 and 300. But in the event that it does get even further than that, then I'm going to mark out some further levels. I I don't think Solana is going to go to like 500, like for example, $560 in like one run. But if it does, hey, you're prepared, right? In my opinion, I will definitely take some profit at 270. I will definitely take some profit at 300. If it goes anywhere beyond that, I'm beyond happy, right? I'm not expecting it to happen, but if it happens, then yeah, good on Solana. So I want you to notice something as well. Like when I draw these take profit levels, notice how I am drawing my take profit like just a tiny bit below, you know, the actual Fibonacci level. That's because Fibs is something that everyone uses. And when everyone is using the same thing, everyone has the same levels. And because of that, like in trading, you're trying to take other people's money, right? It's as simple as that. When you lose money, you're not losing money. Somebody else is taking your money. So assuming that you're trying to take other people's money, then doesn't it make sense that you're going to want to take your profit before they do, right? Everyone's looking at the same levels. So take your profit before they do, right? Take their money before they take yours. So in the previous Solana video, I also talked about where the bottom of Solana is going to be in the event that it does retrace. And over here, we are grand strategists, right? We don't like to be overly biased towards any given direction. Even though I do think that Solana has bullish order flow and it is going to target $270 and $300, I don't want to be overly biased on that, notion. So I always want to be prepared for both sides of the equation. And I urge you guys that, if you are trying to get better as a trader, try to plan for both sides of the trade. If it goes up, good, then you profit. If it goes down, then you are prepared to buy Solana at the exact bottom. And again, if you want to figure out how to snipe these exact bottoms, video is going to be on the top right hand corner. But in this case, the bottom for Solana, I do believe you are going to want to expect massive support on Solana at these three levels right here. Like if you watch this block that I marked out, this is a daily order block, right? It is a bullish order block. And to those of you who do not know what that means, it's basically just areas where the market makers and institutions, they really like to push the price there and to fill in any volume imbalances or any just imbalances. And then that is where most of the time it's going to find its bottom, right? Think of it as untapped liquidity. So expect massive support for Solana at about 165, 162, and 159.5. If I was you, my biggest orders is going to be placed at these three levels right here. I am not saying that it is going to get there, but I am saying that if it does get there, this is going to be very likely to be the bottom for Solana. And the way I know this is because if you go back to Bitcoin, I don't know if any of you are watching, like the long-time followers of my channel, like you guys would know that I called for the Bitcoin bottom to come somewhere between this block right here when it was all the way here, right? I called for the bottom and indeed we did get the bottom at about 40K. So to those of you who follow me on this trade, congratulations. You are in some pretty massive profit right now. And my first take profit target for Bitcoin, I know this is a Solana video, but hey, might as well talk about Bitcoin, right? My first take profit target, which again, I did call the top for Bitcoin as well at 69K before some kind of retracement. And indeed, that is what happened. Again, feel free to fact check this. But otherwise, my next take profit target at the moment is going to be at about 80K, right? 79K, 500-ish, right? Somewhere about that level. So just like how Bitcoin, I predicted the bottom to be coming somewhere at about this block. This is going to be a similar concept to Solana as well. So if it does get to that level, that is going to be the bottom in my opinion. And if you want to get access to all of the trading setups that I might be looking at, as well as the market updates where I tell you exactly, hey, today's a good day, today is a bad day, maybe stay safe today, maybe go balls to the walls today. If that's something you're interested in, you're going to want to check out the private Discord group over here. You are not only going to get access to these market updates, as well as any coins that I might be looking at, any low cap gems that I might be considering, and as well as all of my trades, right? I call a lot of trades in the private Discord group, and if you want access to all of them, this is going to be the place. You are going to get access to a trading education as well. And let's just say that there are people making money every single day. So you are pretty much going to pay off the membership pretty quickly as well. If you're interested, check out the link in the description. And for those of you who stay until the end of the video, you know that I always like to reward you. And in this case, the setup that we are going to be looking at is going to be Burger. Now, Burger is not a very well-known coin. This is on Binance. And before I dive into the trading setup, I just want to explain a little bit about why I stumbled upon this coin right now. So for those of you who remember, actually, I don't believe I posted this setup on my YouTube, but I did talk about this in my private Discord group. So seriously, the sooner you understand that the market is just one big game of liquidity, the better off you're going to be, right? I just want you to take a look at this, right? This is the market makers are not even trying to hide what they're doing. So every time you get a range, something like this, right? Retail, a lot of retail or a lot of beginners, they're going to look at this and be like, oh, that's a bull flag, right? That's a bull flag. bam, 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 that's a bull flag. So it's going to go up. But oftentimes that is rarely the case, because what you need to understand about ranges, right? This is like bull flag myth, and why I don't really like trading bull flags. Bull flag myth, right? Let's bust this right now. The reason, not the reason, but whenever you do get these kinds of equal lows and equal highs, like all of these candles, they ended up like pretty much at the same spot, right? Equal lows, lots of equal lows. When that happens, what you're getting is the market makers are making the price range, okay? Forming a range. And if you know anything about trading, you know that the trend is your friend, right? You're not supposed to trade a you're not supposed to trade a ranging market. The trend is your friend. You want to trade trending markets. And that's where a lot of people get caught up in this mistake. They try to like predict like, oh, this is a bull flag, so it's going to go up. No, when you get this kind of a range, what you need to understand is that you have buildup of liquidity on both sides. And let me explain what I mean by that. So imagine if you were going to go long on Burger. Like imagine if you knew nothing about what happened next, right? Imagine if you were going to go long on Burger at any point over here. Where would you realistically set your stop loss? I would assume somewhere below this level, right? Because you're going to go like thinking, oh, this is strong support. It's going to hold. So I go long at support and it's going to go through resistance. And that is how you get caught up in this trap. Because trust me, not only are you the only one thinking that you should set your stop loss here, but every other person in the world is looking at this and going like, oh, that like everyone's just going to set their stop loss at the same level. And trust me, the market makers know this as well. And that's why you see you stop out all the liquidity, right? Everyone's stop losses this year, right? Why not trigger it, right? And then here's the other thing. The market always gyrates between 2 points of liquidity, right? All you need to know about the markets is that they move between 2 points of the highest liquidity. For example, after you cleared out this point of liquidity right here, right? Everyone got stopped out. You have to look immediately to where is the next point of liquidity? Where is the market expected to, like, where is it going to be drawn to, right? In this case, I will actually be looking over here because anyone who went long at this area right here got a free ride to basically like 50% gains, 50 to 70% gains. And they are, you know, there's going to be stop losses below here as well, because people are going to be looking at this like, oh, it's strong support. And exactly, look what happens, right? You stop out the liquidity, and then lastly, you clear out the final point of liquidity over here, because people are going to be like, oh, this is the all-time low, and bam, right? Look at how the wick just goes slightly below this previous swing low over here. And that's why I say like the market makers are not even trying to hide what they're trying to do. So after you clear out the sell side liquidity, and the reason why it's called sell side is because if you set a stop loss over here when you're going long, then once the stop loss hits, then you're going to, you know, pop a market sell order, and that's why it's called sell side liquidity. So once you pop all the sell side liquidity, that's when you know you can be confident that that is going to be the bottom, right? If you just place an order over here, that you would have caught the bottom, like period. I do not think that Burger is going to come back to this area anytime soon. And then you have to think, right? Once this happens, where is going to be the next point of highest liquidity? In this case, it is going to be, right? Let me see. So once it comes to this point, then it's going to be this point right here. And most importantly, it's going to be drawn to this point of liquidity. And exactly, like, look at this. They just wick it just a tiny bit above that level, and then bam, shoot it back down. They're not even trying to hide this. So if you found that helpful, right? If you found that piece of educational content helpful, I want you to drop a like button, because it's a small gesture, but it really helps a lot. So now let's actually get into the trade right now. So even though I just talked about how support and resistance doesn't really work in the traditional sense, where it gets violated a lot of the time, I do believe that this trade is worthwhile, like it's worth considering, right? You want to pay attention to Burger on, like, you want to pay attention to Burger at about 3.9, but more importantly, I want you to mark down this level at about $4, right? $4 and about 0.1 cents, right? Somewhere about there, 4.022. So once you get a break of this level, I want you to buy the breakout. Not I want you to buy the breakout. Like, I'm just saying that if you were going to take a trade, you could take it like this, right? So you could buy the breakout just along with the breakout as the price is moving out of that level, just go along with it, or a bullish retest of that level. So the reason why this is important is because at the moment, I do believe that the next point of liquidity that we might be about to target is going to be at about $7.3 as well as $9.2. So in the event that we do target that level, we are going to get this kind of a scam pump again. And I just want you guys to be ready, right? Because markets move in phases of expansions and consolidations. This, you got the expansion, and now you have the consolidation. And the next phase is going to be expansion. I do believe it's going to go somewhere between $7.3 and $9, which in this case is going to put this trade at about 87% gains to about 135% gains. So am I saying that it's going to go all the way there? It might take some time, but I do believe that eventually it will be drawn to the liquidity up top. So once you break out of that level, then you are going to want to go into, you should consider going into a long. And the take profit targets for this trade is going to be at 4.85, 6.27, 7.3, 9.2, as mentioned before, 10.4, 12.8 and $21. Now, you just want to take your profit on the way up, right? I'm not saying that this is going to be like the be all end all, right? These are just reference points for you to take your profits. So maybe on the way up, you take 25% here, you take 25% here, you take 25% here, and you take the rest here, right? It's just an example. And if you watch until this point of the video so far, I really want you to drop a comment in the comment section, write burger, so that I know who are the real ones, and doing so will help with the YouTube algorithm as well. And it is just a small gesture of saying thank you. If you don't want to do so, that's fine as well. And just one last thing before I leave you guys off. If you pay attention to burger, like if you really zoom out, you can see that we are in the midst of forming sort of a rounded bottom. This is, at the moment, this is the bottom, phase of a rounded bottom. And if you know anything about for those OGs who watched my channel back in May or maybe even April, you guys know that I like to talk about how rounded bottoms pays the bills, right? Rounded bottoms, you accumulate for a very long time and then you go absolutely parabolic. So if you think about burger in this way, then you can see where my bullishness is coming from and why I might be interested in this setup. So if you're interested in checking out the private Discord group, make sure you check out the link in the description below. For now though, may the gains be with you, my friend, and peace.